Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go over how to fill in this unit circle. And this is what your quiz will look like. You'll have about 10 minutes to fill this in completely from scratch. Now, I do want to go ahead and remind you about a couple of things before we start filling this in. This is quadrant 1, so whatever your points is in quadrant 1 will be positive and positive. And also, any coordinates we fill in quadrant 2 will be negative and positive. Anything we fill in quadrant 3 will both be negative. Anything we fill in quadrant 4, the x will be positive and the y will be negative. The last thing we're going to go over is really the angles. We're going to fill in I call these the four corners first. So we're going to start in standard position. And remember, the length of this line right here is 1. So this point right here would be 1, 0. This point up here, since it's on the y-axis up here, this point is at 0, 1. Go over here, since this is 1 to the left, the x value is negative 1 and the y value will be 0. And okay, so let me continue. Sorry, got a phone call. So if this is negative 1, then we go down to here where the radius is still 1, so the length of this line is 1, but since it's going below, the y value is negative 1, the x value is 0. So that's what we would call our four corners. So the hard part actually is what we're going to fill in next. And the points on the graph are weird looking. So the thing I do want you guys to remember first is no matter where we are on the graph, all the rest of these are going to be some fraction. So let's go ahead and put some fraction bars down. And so this ain't minuses, this is fraction bars, and you should see that in just a moment and where we're getting to it. Below every one of these will be the number 2. So interesting. All these numbers are over a 2. And these are going to be your coordinates today. So other than the four corners, these are all 2's. And we're going to fill this one in first, the whole quadrant. And if you memorize this first quadrant, the rest of these will come out to be kind of nice. So, think of this as kind of a rocket ship going up. These points would be 3, 2, 1, blast off. But over the 2 and the 3, you have to put a square root. So this is a square root of 2, square root of 3. And then we flip-flop it on the way down. 3, 2, 1, landing, but over the 2 and the 3 you put a square root. And this is the points on the first quadrant of the unit circle. Well, they all will mirror each other. So what I mean by mirroring each other is kind of like if we drew like an invisible box here, all of these points here will have the same point as this one. Like so. So if we drew like a little box here, and I'm intentionally drawing it very vague, I don't want you guys to rely on it too much. This would be square root of 2, 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 square root of 2. And then this skinnier box will be the same thing in all of them. 1/2, square root of 3. Oh, I forgot a 2 here. Good job, teach. 1, square root of 3, 1, square root of 3. But now we have to fix the signs in each quadrant. That's why I wanted to go over this again. So in this quadrant, the first number is negative in all of them. So for the first number, just apply negative. In this quadrant, apply negative to both. And in this one, apply negative to the second. And there we go. We're through the hard part of the unit circle. So in each one of these quadrants, we're going to start here at 0 degrees. We're going to do degrees first because people seem to wrap their heads better around degrees. And this is 0. This would be your 90. This would be your 180. This would be your 270. And wrapping around would be 360, but we're not going to worry about 360. In the first quadrant, every 2 will be going up by, so in the first quadrant we're going to have 30. Let's just do it like this: 30, then 15 more will be 45, and then we'll be at 60. So from here we can actually use this piece and this piece to cheat to get around the whole circle just by adding in your head. You might need a calculator, but 30 plus 30 is 60, plus 30 is 90, plus 30 is 120, plus 30 is 150, plus 30 is 180, plus 30 is 210, plus 30 is 240, plus 30 is 270, plus 30 is 300, and then plus 30 more is 330, so I'm skipping every one. So the 30 and the 60s go together, kind of. And then from here, we'll look at 45. 45, 90, add another 45, you're at 135, add another 45, you're at 180, add another 45, you're at 225, another 45, you're at 270, and another 45, you're at 315. And there's the degrees part, which is the part that makes the most sense, but in the infinite wisdom of our county, not our county, the county in that file here, at the beautiful wisdom of our state, they want it in the radians. So 0 degrees here would be 0 radians, and then 180 degrees is the same as pi. We went over that earlier in the class. And then the top piece here would be 3 pi over 2, and the bottom piece here, excuse me, that is pi over 2 because that's half, and then this would be 3 pi over 2. So to get the first piece here, we're going to look at our 45 degrees first, since those are the easier ones to kind of catch on to. This is 1/4 of pi, 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, this would be 3 pi over 4, 4 over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, which reduces to 3/2, and 7 pi over 4. Now here, we're going to use your 6's. This will be pi over 6, and this will end up being pi over 3. Anything that's odd with the pi over 6's, you will write down. So 1 over 6, 2 over 6, 3 over 6, 4 over 6, 5 over 6, 6 over 6, 7 over 6, 8 over 6, 9 over 6, 10 over 6, and then 11 pi over 6. And then we just count with the 1/3. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, and 5/3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. This is the whole unit circle. If you need other ways to memorize it, I will gladly help you at any other time. But your homework will be fully based on this, and you will probably need to stare your eyes out at this to fill this in. So have a good afternoon. Or watch the next video.